duplicate stuff.
Okay. Oh, one sec. You'll have to disable your sharing.
Yeah. There you go.
All right. Sorry about that, everyone. But all right, let's start now. Let me turn this down. Everyone. Today I'm getting. Hey, what's up, everyone? Today I'm going to give the lecture on generics and arrays. And this right here is my Twitter name, ICP123. So summary, what I want to talk about, what an array is, give you a resource on it from the documentation, a little tutorial on how to create an array, some concepts about distinguishing between the array and variable itself, which actually references resource 1. It's like a summary of it. A discussion of some array utilities, which relates to resource 2. And then generics. What is a generic? Generic equality. A little programming exercise, kind of relating generics and arrays. And then I'll give you a resource pertaining to generics. Arrays. So what is an array? At the end of the day, arrays are just bins that are connected together. So, oh, and I just want to say they are of a very certain type. So you can have bins that are connected to each other that are of natural numbers, 1, 5, 0. Integers, which is a negative and positive number, can include negative and positive numbers. You can have connected bins of these values. Text, arrays of arrays. There's tons of combinations, but yeah, for now, we'll keep it simple. Okay, so the first resource I'll give you is about creating an array. So here you can see like how to import array. You'll need this, and then as you read, you'll see some like syntax and how to use the array module. But actually, I kind of want to summarize it and give you like give a theoretical framework behind what it's saying. To be honest, so theoretical framework. You have something called a variable, and you have something called an array. And it's really, really important to understand that documentation research to basically distinguish between the two, right? So an analogy is you have a variable, so you can think of the state of text as like a variable. And then you can think of the array itself as like a train cart, like inside Texas. So you have the variable, the state of Texas, and then you have the array. So keep that in mind as I talk through everything. There's a difference between the variable and a difference between the array, the train cart, okay? So the first combination, and yeah, so that documentation basically says there's 4 distinguishing things you can do with the variable and the array. So, I mean, this picture will explain it all. I'll have 3 other ones after this one that you'll see what I mean. You have immutable variable and immutable array. So what this means is in this combination, when immutable array means you cannot switch out the value in the string cart. Immutable variable means you cannot switch out the train cart for another train cart, okay? See, no, right? Now the second combination the documentation talks about is a mutable variable and immutable array. So when it says mutable variable, Texas, right? You can switch, you can mutate, you can remove the train cart and replace an entire new train cart. That's mutable variable. Immutable array, though, states you cannot remove the value from a train card, right? So this 0 will always be here. And if you replace the 2 train cards, these 9s need to stay in here. They will never, you cannot kick this one out for like a 0 if you replaced this train card, right? So, okay, immutable variable and immutable array. What this is saying is you can, okay, immutable variable first. You cannot switch out the train card in the variable, right? This train card is stuck in Texas, okay? But immutable array, you can modify what's inside the train card. And now again, you can't change, like if it's natural numbers, you cannot switch out like 9 for A, the letter A, okay? But you can, well, we don't get a hexadecimal, but you can switch out the numbers in the train card, right? So if you have 5, you can replace it with 9. You got 0, you can replace it with 9. So yeah, documentation will say mutable array, and that means yes, you can replace the 9 with the 0. And then the last combination is when you can mutate both the variable and the array, right? So yeah, that's the four combinations of things you can do. Now, I do want to give like some kind of consideration to what I've said. I hope you noticed that I never said anything about switching out the number of bins in the array itself, right? So you can never actually add extra train card, like you can add bins to a train card, right? If you create the array with 3 bins, that array itself is stuck with 3 bins. However, I think you might have noticed in like this right here, if you have a mutable variable, you can switch out the train card with a train card with more number of bins than the initial train card, right? So you can do that, and that's fine. If you need to change the number of bins, what you need to do is you need to create a whole, or you need to switch out in Motoko. You need to actually create like another array and flip-flop it with the array that exists inside the variable. Okay, so just keep that in mind. And finally, you can never return an immutable copy. No, you must return an immutable copy of a mutable array if you want to return it from a function. And actually, I think this is an asynchronous function, not like a private function, sorry, or public sync function. Or you know what, the term is shared. I'm not sure if you guys have learned from a shared function. So anyhow, yeah, I'll describe what I mean. Okay, so now I'm actually gonna create an array. I'll walk you through like programming the creation of an array. So we can, in your environment, I'm assuming you've already typed in like dfx new array. Or if you haven't, do that, and then you can cd into the array, cd into array, and hit enter. I already did that, so I'm not gonna do it. But okay, so yeah, basically your directory should look like this, and you do dfx start. If it has a dfx.json, you're in the right place. Wait for it to get started. Maybe it is. All right, well, we'll come back to it. We'll try to compile it, and if it doesn't work, you'll.
Oh, just want to say, if anyone has any questions, like in the middle of it, and need me to pause or explain some, feel free to like write in the question there or like chat or whatever. And I think, Ted, if you could let me know if anyone has any like questions.
Sounds good.
Okay.
See. Creating array, you can import array mo base array. And actually, I'm going to describe where I find this. I forgot. You guys need to see where to I get this from. So yeah, I would start with the resource I showed you guys. And yeah, click on that. And it has some syntax on how to start doing stuff. So right here, the Motoko standard library can provides basic operations for mutable and immutable arrays. So you're gonna wanna type that in, and then I'm gonna start searching for you, like how to find some of these concepts. So immutable array, immutable variable. So the let keyword is how you create an immutable variable, and well, this is how you create an immutable array with this syntax. So you can do let array. You can, or I guess I'll leave it out just to show you that you don't have to put that bracket in that. 1, 2, 3. Okay, let array equals 1, 2, 3. And since it's immutable already, we don't have to do anything. And yeah, so basically you type in the array and you return the array. Let's see what happens. Okay, it's ready. Basically, when you see this dashboard thing, I think it means you're ready to compile your code. So let me clear this. And then we can do dfx deploy. And my project is actually called array backend. I think, yeah. And if you want to know what your project is called, just look at the dfx JSON file. Right there. Mine is called array backend. And this is stuff, these are other canisters that I need. But all right, so it's been deployed. I'm gonna clear my terminal, and then I'm gonna run. I'm gonna actually call this function right in the terminal to see what outputs. So dfx canister call array backend. Create array. Okay, look at that. We got an immutable array, and I want to show you. So how you modify these, either the variable or the array. You can do. Well, for now, I'll try to show you that you can't modify the. We cannot modify the array itself or the variable. So if I set array 0, which means the 0th element, try to change it to 3, it's gonna apply. So let me deploy it. You can deploy array backend. Type error, expected mutable assignment target.
Albert, is there any way to increase the screen size by any chance?
I want to switch out.
No, does it look small for you?
Yeah. We've got that in the chat. The people are saying can please increase the zoom on the terminal.
Oh. Maybe I can mess with my screen resolution. Oh, you mean like does it look full screen though, and it's just the terminal?
No, it's half screen.
Oh yeah, no, I won't be able to increase the no, I mean if this entire video is full screen for you, I don't think you'll be able to see it. But because this is like in the recording, I made it half screen to show like.
Okay.
But I mean, like this thing's taking up the entire space, or no? Like.
Yeah, I guess people are just saying that it's tiny for them to see.
Oh, the font.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. Maybe I could zoom into a certain area. Try resolution. We'll see. I don't believe this is going to be the fix. Or actually, this might be the biggest one.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it doesn't look like it's going to do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We'll let it roll then.
The array. So let's say array 2 equals 1. The array equals array 2. It won't let me. See that? It's not going to let me swap out. See, basically what it's doing is saying, take this and swap it out for this one. That's not going to let me. It's going to complain as well. Type error, expected mutable assignment target. Yeah, so that's an immutable array. You literally can't touch it. Okay. So immutable variable, immutable array. Now let's comment this out, and we'll do mutable variable and immutable array. So you can do var. Oh yeah, well, it knows it. I'm using that GitHub Copilot thing. It's pretty cool, but it doesn't have Motoko fully. So this is based off my previous code. It's not actually like it had Motoko in it, but yeah, it did type it out for me. See?
Albert, there's a question in Q&A.
Oh, sorry. Say that. Say it again.
There's a question in the Q&A. Is it always convenient to use maps and not array of array?
Oh, is always convenient to use maps versus array of array. It depends what you're trying to do. When you use an array of array, that's like if you're, so, how should I put this? I mean, yeah, there's different scenarios. I guess where you would use array of array would be with upgrades. Like you can't even use like hash maps like with if you're gonna upgrade your canister. If you know, you understand what canister upgrades are. So yeah, there are times you absolutely need an array of array, and then there's also times where it's like, when would I prefer to use an array of array versus hash map? I think that depends on like, I don't know, a lot of factors. How many sizes is your, so okay, if you're using an array of array, I'm assuming you have the inside array might be like of various types, right? Like so, oh no, sorry, the inside arrays, right? The inner arrays, are they sortable? If they're sortable, I guess you would use a hash map, right? So, or like sortable by key, like do they have some kind of unique key that you want to key upon? Then you would use a hash map. So the answer is it depends. I hope that answer's good. If not, feel free to ask again, like a further follow-up question.
And says thanks.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, var array equals. So yeah, in this documentation, basically, actually, this isn't part of the array lecture, but actually mutable and immutable variables. But yeah, if you scroll up in the part I sent, you can actually see that they describe the mutable and immutable variables. So to create a mutable variable, you use the keyword var. So var array equals 1, 2, 3, and then I can add an element to the array. Or no, you cannot add an element to the array. I'm actually curious what it's going to do. Now, see that? Yeah, that's not Motoko syntax. But I will replace the value I'll replace the array with an array. Okay, so I need a var that array 2 equals okay, and I'll do array equals array 2, and I'll return the array, and you'll see that it will compile and not complain. So deploy, and then call. All right. So as you can see, this is the value of the second array, right? So where we're at right now, this one, right? I created an initial array that had mutable variable but immutable array. the values can't change, and so I can't swap out the values, but I can't swap out the entire trend card. Okay, so now I'm going to show you that it's going to cry when I try to swap out the values. So here's how you swap out the value. Array 1 equals 4, and watch what happens. First you deploy it. Oh, well, yeah, it won't even let me. Expected mutable assignment target, right? So, and then, yeah, so, okay. Now, the next combination was creating an immutable variable and an immutable variable and a mutable array. So, oops, let's not. So let array equals, so here's how you go back to the documentation. And then, so you go to the section that says mutable array, right here. Allocate immutable array of constants. So you can use this as well, but I'm just going to show you that you don't have to. So var 1, 2, 3, right? And then I will show you that you should be able to modify the contents of the array. So here's how you basically modify it like that. Array 3, or no, there's not 3 bins, so equals 4. So it'll let me modify 0, 1, 2.
Oh, I just wanted to stop and say that there are 3 bins, but the bin numbering starts at 0. So if you saw me, if I updated array index 3, that would be at like the 4th bin, and as you saw, there weren't 4 bins.
So there was a question from Daddy Cool that says, are there index assigned to the array elements? So basically there are 0 and up. So hopefully that answers Daddy Cool's question as well.
Okay, awesome.
Oh, and yeah, that's right. So this is where if array is mutable. Oh wait, you know what? This isn't. Oh yeah, if array is mutable, you first need to do something called freeze it, right? So in order to return it, you got to go to this part of the documentation. So I'll just show you what to do for now. Let's see. Use a function called freeze. So I guess this will be a lesson on using this other documentation. You type in, so after you import this library, you can do something like this. It's var, or I mean, it doesn't matter, let array2 or frozen equals array dot freeze, and then this is a generic like specifier. We'll talk about generics later. For now, just know you need to match whatever type your actual array is, right? So, all right, and then you can return array frozen. So basically what it did was it turned this array into or it turned this mutable array into an immutable array, and then assigned actually, you know what, just to show you something. Oh no, it's the variable is immutable. So actually I need to set it to another variable. So yeah, this I'm gonna do this. For the next one, I'll show you, you can actually reset the entire variable, but yeah. So clear, and then deploy, and call. Okay, so first thing I want to show you is that the mutable array. It's mutable because I swapped this 3 for 4, and when I returned it, I got 1, 2, and 4. And then let's see. Oh yeah, freezing. The part about freezing the array to return, because you can't return a mutable array in a shared function, which means if it has a sync like query public, there's like the properties. You can't return like a variable, like you can't return varnet, right? So it has to be a mutable array. But the variable doesn't matter, it doesn't care. And then so finally, the last combination is return, or no, array. Okay, mutable variable and mutable array. I feel like I should remember to talk out what I'm doing. So var 1, 2, 3. I want to show you can modify both the array and the array, or the variable and also the array. So array 2 equals 4, and then instead of, so basically this array.freeze returns a whole new copy of an array, right? So yeah, I'm going to set it, yeah, I'm gonna freeze it again. So that array, or no, you know what I'm gonna do array 2 equals array 2. Actually, you know what? I was gonna try setting, yeah, I was gonna try setting the frozen array to it, but no, we'll just array. All right, and then so I'll show you that basically I was able to switch this with this. So let array frozen equal array.freeze. Yeah, so I did two things. I swapped out the variable and I swapped out a value in the array.
I had a question.
We'll see it happen.
Oh yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, NFT collections asking, I don't see a dot size or dot length for the array. So how do you get the length of an array?
Oh, I will actually be talking about that. But if you want to know right now, it's so. I guess I'll go to my PowerPoint slides. So this was the first documentation. The second documentation I actually was going to give you after doing the exercises. It probably would have been better. I'm not sure if you're new, you probably didn't get the shared slides, but I will share it again. Let me know if you can't see it. In the second documentation, there's methods to basically call like functions of the array and properties. And then I think I am going to do a demonstration in the video of using one of these. I'm not sure if it's, I don't think it's size actually, but I do vals. But you can see if you like control F length or size, it should be somewhere here. Let's see. Length. Oh, you know what? That's it. That's right. So I guess maybe you tried doing it and it didn't work. What you do is vals, and I guess I'll explain this is it returns something called an iter, right? And then I think the iter gives you the size. So if I type in iter, so yeah, it returns after you use the vals function, there should be size. So you could do it that way, see? So I guess, yeah, I didn't actually know that on the top of my head, but yeah, figure it out. So it's vals, and then you get an iter, you go to documentation, and honestly, getting familiar with this is just eventually you click on the right one, like you've used it so many times, and then you do iter.size. So I guess I'll just type it in here. So basically you would do array.vals array, and then this returns an iter, right? So to use the iter library, I'll show you basically how you, oh, actually this doesn't show you how to import, but basically first you got to import it, and then you do something similar, like in order to use any of these library functions, you just call like the name of it. So iter dot size like this, and that should give you it. I guess you'd have to try it. I don't have my ID out, and it's on a virtual machine, so I'd have to boot it up. But yeah, maybe try something like this where this is your array name, and then yeah. So hope that helps. Let me know if it doesn't. Oh, did it pause? Oh, okay, there we go.
Deploy. Clear. Call.
Oh, was that helpful? Were you even able to see it on my screen when I typed all that out? Or
Yeah, we were able to see the iter size and
okay, sounds
yeah.
good.
So yeah, it didn't complain, and basically what happened was, well, you didn't actually see. I guess I could have printed it in the debug console, but yeah, I swapped out this value for this one, and then I swapped out the entire array, and ta-da, it works. And then so I was actually thinking about setting this array to the array frozen, but the frozen array, but it won't let you, because the mutable variable is of an immutable array type, right? Array right here. So it only takes mutable arrays. If I tried to set, this is an immutable array, like this returns an immutable array. So if I set array equal array frozen, it's gonna complain, right? Watch this. So this is a good error to encounter. You know, actually, the best value is to find things that break, and that's usually how you learn. So experiment with all the combinations. It's not actually finding the right things to do, it's finding the wrong things to do. But yeah, so as you can see, there's an error in line 20, type error, expression of type nat cannot produce var nat. So yeah, you can't, this is line 20. You can't switch this array for an immutable, or you cannot, yeah, set a mutable array variable to an immutable array. Like you can't do that. Okay, so now that we know how to create an array, you're probably gonna want to actually do something useful with it. So this documentation or this library kind of describes everything you can do with it. Well, I guess some of the heavier lifting. You can do a lot more, but you gotta customize it yourself. But these are some functionality that like extended utilities on arrays that Dfinity gives you in another library. So I'm going to show you basically how do I use this for like additional work on array, besides just changing the value, besides just changing the variable, and besides just creating the array. So I'm going to do, well, the automatic brain mode starts typing. So first we're gonna create a function that finds the largest number in an array. And then here's the workflow for it. The workflow for it is, okay, here we go. Create a variable to hold the largest number. Loop through the array. Oh well, it didn't say create the array. Create the array. Loop through the array. If the current number is larger than the largest number, replace the largest number with the current number. Return the largest number. There we go. GitHub Copilot is a very good friend. But all right, public query find largest number. Right, they even knows that. And then, so what you're gonna do is you're gonna create a variable to hold the largest number for our largest number equals 0. And now let me show you how to actually create the array using the array library so that you get practice using this instead of doing it kind of the old-fashioned way, if you want to go. So array var array equals. So here in this library, there's another way to create an array. It says create a mutable array with size copies of the initial value. So you got array dot init. Say you go right here, array dot init natural, the size and the initial value. So 8. Oh, whoops, sorry, 8 comma 2. So all these numbers are 2. And then let's change a few. Var array, or no, set. First, I know I'm breaking the workflow, but just to mess with some of the numbers, if few numbers 2 not 2. Okay, array 0 equals 1, array 3, perfect. And then finally, what you're going to do is you're going to, let's see, loop through the entire array. And then, so here's how you loop through the entire array. No, the GitHub Copilot, that's not right. But wait, so there is a function called vals, right? That will basically give you something called an iterator, which allows you to do a loop of the array, to loop through the array. So that's what we're going to use. We're going to use for, well, I mean, you can really, it has it right here, but we'll just copy what it says. And actually, so it looks like what they're doing is calling this and then dot vals, but that doesn't always work with all the functions. So I want to show you like what I did over here. I'm more comfortable with doing this because it works with everything. This seems to only work like for this function where you go array dot vals instead of array dot vals nat, and then you plug in the array. So I'm going to do that and show you just so to be consistent with everything else. I mean, whenever you use this type of documentation, because that's the real way. It seems like that's the most consistent way of doing things. So I'm looping through each element in this array, and then if the current number is larger than the largest number, I'm gonna replace largest number with the current number. So if element is greater than largest number is set equal to element. All right, well, it does it for me. Thank you. And then finally, we can return largest number. Return largest number. So, I mean, I guess read through this and try to pick out the little syntactical sugar and match it up to the documentation. I mean, in due time, really, you'll be able to just type this out, right? And let the GitHub Copilot, the AI thingy, code the syntax. But for now, it's not part of the documentation. So, or it's not this documentation. Motoko's not really part of, the AI's language. Yes. So you gotta figure it out. You gotta just right now we're figuring out matching up syntax and learning the language. So I won't complicate things. We just do a quick find largest number function, and let's try to compile it. So dfx deploy array backend. Oh, you know what? It takes an immutable array, so I can so I gotta freeze it. So var frozen. Okay, so actually in this workflow, I guess you can watch. I would re-record this, but it's good to watch my mistake. Basically, what you see here is I have a immutable array that can be put in here, but my array.init, it's mutable, right? It's got var x. It's a mutable array. So I'm going to replace that, or I'm going to add up the line. Basically, change this to frozen array. Okay, and now it should not complain. Let's see if I have to change it anywhere else. But yeah, so this becomes an immutable array. And we'll deploy it one more time. Oh wait, line 20. Well, I messed around somewhere here, didn't I? I'll just remove this create array function. All right, it will compile now. Yes. Okay. And basically it's going to return the largest number, it should return 7. Clear. And then we can run a canister call create array. What's the method name? Find largest number, sorry. It would be cool if there was a GitHub Copilot for the command line. I think someone's working on that. Like it connects this, it just parses the function and lets you, maybe a different, like imagine if the command line, you just typed in dfx canister call, and then it fills it out for you. But for now, you have to actually find the function name and the canister name. So I called that, and then, yeah, you get 7, right? So it found the largest number. And just, I don't know how much time, because I also have to give a lecture on generics in the same thing, in the same lecture. So I'm just we'll move on. There's a lot of other things you can do. Though you can sort the array. You can receive a sorted copy, or receive a copy of a reversed immutable array. Yeah, feel free to read through that. And as again, returning an array must be immutable. You may convert a copy of an array in which the initial array is immutable to a mutable array, vice versa. Okay. So now I'm going to talk about generics. What are generics? Well, different data structures and functions can pull different types of data. Let's say you have a function that compares whether two things are equal. You can have a calculator that, well, let's say the calculator is a function. Give a calculator numbers, it can tell you if it's equal. Give it letters, you're gonna have a bad time. Human, you give letters, things work out. Numbers, it breaks, right? Not really, but sometimes we break. Now, you get the generic equality machine. This is what we're gonna create. We're gonna create something that give it two letters, say, are they equal? And it can tell you no. Two numbers also will tell you no. It takes in numbers and letters, or well, text. It could be, it doesn't have to be A, B, right? So to start, basically to show this concept, we'll just run through a programming exercise. And in the docs, I'll also explain like how to do generic equality, right? How to, because there's basically some kind of caveat that says you can't compare in a certain way, and it's important to do it a different way. So I'll walk you through that documentation. So this programming exercise, what we're gonna do is we're just gonna compare if two values are equal, right? But we're gonna let it take in different kinds of data types. So create a function that determines whether two.
Oh, just heads up. Since mine, I guess I was giving two topics in a lecture. It goes to about like a full hour. So I guess if anyone needs a break, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to just say this, but I'm sure if you do, just you can tell me to stop for like a minute or two, and if you need to stand up. If not, I'll just keep playing. Just I guess let Ted know in the question section or whatnot.
Values are equal. And then create a main function to call that function. So for the function that determines two values are equal, where here's the syntax for creating generics. Essentially, it's kind of like this. Don't look at this, but here you go. So func equal t. Okay, yeah, just like that. Right, but this is a no-go. So we're gonna say this is wrong, but we're gonna break it. We're gonna break it intentionally, and you'll see what happens when I try to do it. So public func main async bool, then okay, so we'll set two numbers. So var x equals 1, var x equals y equals 2, and return eq net x comma y. So how you call a generic function after creating it, so t, you actually place the data type here, right? So if you have to make sure these are consistent, the program will break, but yeah, I specified to net, and then yeah, we got x and y, and I will deploy this. I'll show you what happens. Deploy. So we're gonna run it. It gives us this warning that it talks about in the documentation, and basically when you run it, you'll see what the problem is. Call array backend, and the function is called main, right? So main, and then it says true right now. If you walk through it, you're like, var x equals 1, var y equals 2, return x equals y. It's true. That's not true, right? It should be false. So in this documentation, it basically tells you what the problem is. And really, what we'll just code out what the solution to this is. You can't use this you need to use basically you need to use a function that's type specific. Okay, so I'll show you what I mean. Public, or we'll create func is net equal that one, net two. Okay, and then what you have to do is so here's what it says. You need to plug this function in to this function because it's a very specific like type function. So let's see, this is the syntax right here. So it's eq a or t d t cool, right? Then you do eq t fy return. Right. Okay, so this is gonna work. But notice you also are gonna have to plug in here when you call it. What you modify is go here and say is not equal. Is not equal. And so yeah, you plug this in.
I just want to guess add to it, just I don't know, to clarify just a little bit. This right here, this is still like a generic parameter, right? This is saying plug in a specific comparison function. So yeah, this isn't like the net, right? This is a specific one, and you plug it into the function itself. Just to clear that up in case I don't know, wasn't clear, because I had second thoughts just listening myself. So
And it should give you that they're equal. So deploy. Okay, it ran through. I'm gonna clear. Call. False. Look at that. So yeah, that's the right way to do things. And I can even try it for text as well. So I will show you. I'll make one. Func is text equal, and then we can change the values as well. So oh, and we'll also try to break it with the text. So for now, actually, I think I'm not sure if you can compare text like that. There's a text function or text library that can tell you if they're equal. So you got to use this, but for now, I actually want to show you. We're gonna break it with the wrong way first. So let's get rid of that, and then var x equals abc, y equals rr, and then text, right? We gotta switch the data type, x, y, and we can redeploy it, deploy. Oh, what? Unbound variable a, x equals y, right? Clear. Oh, you know what? It's because I have this in here. So yeah, we got to reset it. Basically, yeah, I guess freeze frame it and copy this to see how it breaks. Now it should work. So deploy it right back in, and then call. See, it says trillion, right? You can't use this equals. So now let's convert it to the right way to do things. You see ABC and RR does not equal each other. So we're going to create func is text equal. And here we go, right? Similar to the is not equal. And then, but actually you can't use that. You got to use, I guess this is a lesson now on how to import libraries and use them. So first you got to import text from phone base text. And then say return text dot equal text1 text2. And then we've got to add back that it's, so actually I'm not, I gotta look at the syntax, and honestly, who cares the syntax? One day, as I said, I think I mentioned the GitHub Copilot AI crap will take care of it for you. You know, you just type in what you want it to do. But for now, it's like learning a language, and it's fun. Why not? So, eg a, there you go, or eg t, it's gonna be t. Okay, and then you can, I'll leave it the wrong way to do it, and comment it out, and then write return eg t x, y, and then return eg text, and you plug this in, text, or no, eg, text equal. Okay. And it's running, and it should, well, you already can watch, you'll see what happens. Boy. Oh, oops. Expected one more. 39. Where is that? Oh, that's why. That's what I was trying to say. So yeah, I just said it. Okay, so clear, call, false, they're not equal. Sorry, but okay. So as you can see, text equal outputs, they're not equal, so it works. And I do want to say, actually, what you can do, you really don't have to create the text equal function, because text.equal is a function itself. What you could do is just to take this text.equal, right? Put it in here. Text.equal, just like that. And then when you run it, it'll still work. Watch, deploy, call. Oh yeah, and then call. Let's see, false. So it went through, and so yeah, that's generics. Basically, what it's saying is you put in a certain type for that, and then finally the connection to arrays. Well, I put the like some resources of generics first, but yeah, connection to arrays. Okay, so now we're finally gonna circle back to arrays and kind of talk about the connection to arrays. So as you can see, arrays are clearly generics, right? And when you want to test, they even give you a function in documentation right here. If you want to test whether two arrays are equal, right? Basically what you're supposed to do is you pass in a function that says check whether two values are equal. So their implementation kind of shows like the bigger picture of arrays, if you will. So we're actually just going to use that, and we're going to try checking whether two arrays for our last exercise, whether two arrays are equal. So public func two arrays equal. And you know what, just to save space, make things less confusing, we're gonna delete all this. All right, so create a function that well, first we'll create a main function that calls whether two arrays are equal, or that checks whether two arrays are equal. And then we will create a generic, or not a generic, a specific type, a specific comparison function, which we will plug into arrays is equal, or arrays equal function. The array, like the arrays library equal function, if that makes sense. So here, first public func main. Is so let's think this through. We're going to open up the documentation. This one right here. We're going to go to equal. Okay, so how do we use this? So it says you got let array one equal, let array one equals 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let array 2 equal 3. So we switch up the last number, and then you can test array.equal, and then what it says is you plug in one array, you plug in another array, and you need a customized function that basically tells you whether two values of whatever type this is. So whatever x is, and in our case it's natural, right? So we need to plug in a function that would check basically are two natural numbers equal. So we can do return array.equal array 1 array 2, and then this compare that's suggesting we need to create a function, right? So is actually, I shouldn't have deleted the is nat equal in my previous example, but we'll just create it again and create a function checks if two natural numbers are equal. So then we can do no, we don't need a workflow. Or no, it's gotta be func is equal that, and you know I'm just gonna let Copilot run the job. It's kind of redundant. You don't need to do this, but there we go. You could just return nat1 equals nat2, but hey, Copilot. So cool. And then so now we're gonna plug this function in there, right? That's a generic comparing function. This is why arrays are generics. You need, if you want to compare something, you need to use specific. You need to use a specific type compare with the generic. So it's equal that. And delete this, and then.
Just gonna add. I realized. So this is comparing. This function itself is comparing one number at a time, but under the array implementation, it's actually looping through every single one and checking. So it's looping through each, or so array 1 and 2, and it loops through them, and it checks does index 1 equal the value of index 2, index 2, or index 0 equals index 0, index 1 equals index 1, but it's using this specific comparator. So it's not, yeah, this is, I forgot to say that it's actually like looping through this, and this specific comparator is specifically for one index at a time. So yeah, just
I
add.
got that's fire. But okay, so now this should run deploy, and then call, and there you go. They're not equal. See that? Because yeah, this 7, this 3, we ran it through a is equal natural, and it's not. So yep, that's the connection between generics and arrays. So I guess I'm going to circle back to my summary. Basically, this is what I talked about. Talk about what is an array. I give you a resource, I guess a description on creating an array, distinguishing the importance of distinguishing between the array and the variable itself, array utilities, and then resource too, and then generics. What is a generic? Generic equality, programming about generics. An exercise that kind of circled back to arrays, and then more resources. So I hope you enjoyed my presentation on generics and arrays, and yeah, thanks for watching. Have a good one, guys. Oh yeah, I'll see you on that open office hours thing.
Albert, can we share this slide deck with everyone?
Oh, you said, can you share with everyone?
Yeah,
Yeah, you can share it.
there you go. So it's now in the chat.
Okay.
Good stuff.
Okay.
Right, so-
Yeah, I guess.
So are there any questions?
Yeah. Let's see. Thanks. Okay.
I think we got
All
through most of those.
Yeah. So I'm gonna sleep. All right. Yeah. Good night then.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
All right. Yeah. I hope everyone enjoyed.
All right.
All right. See ya.
Take care.
Take care. Thanks, everyone.